Good day, viewers. Welcome to your favorite program, Podges and Venom TV. This is your weekly program where we give you news in the maritime industry, aviation sector, as well as the land border. On today's episode of Podges and Venom TV, traditional rulers along Badagry have been accused of encouraging illegal roadblocks along Seme-Maitu international routes. Federal government should make Nigerian Shippers Council the commercial regulator in the maritime industry. This was said by Dr. Obisi Okonkwo. My name is Afan Tokawade Collins. Stay tuned. Nigerian Shippers Council, in collaboration with USAID, West African Trade Hub, organized a 2-day stakeholders sensitization workshop to sensitize Nigerians working along the border, particularly Seme-Diroko border, on the need to know the importance of Border Information Center, which was recently sited at Seme border. Border Information Center is useful for West African traders that are plying the international route between Nigerian and West African sub-region. While a representative of Nigerian Immigration Service and Assistant Controller of Immigration, Nuruddin, said that roadblocks there are illegal, which were actually encouraged by most of the traditional rulers along Badagry international route.
Security agents. So that I want to bring to the notice of my colleagues there, or my friend. You have the local people here representing the balance. They are having their own checkpoints. So don't have that assumption all the checkpoints are for security agents. Maybe you counted 16. Out of that 16, you may have about 9 representing the balance. Yes, I'm telling you that so that you know. It's not all the security agents that are having the checkpoints. So please have it in your mind. Thank you.
The world has indeed become a commercial global village. Nigeria, the West Coast and South Africa have become every shipper's destinations of delight. To meet this growing need, we present the CFAX Group of Companies, a maritime one-stop shop with subsidiaries on the West Coast, London and Texas, USA. With our well-trained and courteous staff, high-tech cranes, stevedoring services, haulage trucks with mileage across Nigeria and abroad, and our utility bonded terminals, we are indeed Nigeria's leading cargo handlers. CFAX Group of Companies, our team work with innovation.
However, a representative of Nigerian Customs Service representing the controller of customs Semboda said that Nigerian Customs Service has only 3 checkpoints along this Seme-Maitu road, insisting that most of the checkpoints there are illegal. While a retired controller of customs, Controller Ogun Jemite, said that Nigerians need to appreciate the importance of citing this Border Information Center called BIC at Seme border.
On this multiple checkpoints, I want to tell you that custom has 3 checkpoints between Seme here and Lagos. 3. That is Seme Command, Nigerian Customs Service Seme Command. We have just 3 checkpoints between here and Lagos. But if you go out here now, just behind these banks is a smuggling route from the border here. They go back like that. Each ballet, each chief and all this, they have their own roadblock, they have their boys there. Along the road here, along this main road, you will see a lot of people wearing a lot of funny uniforms, funny clothes, and they are there stopping people. I don't know what they are checking. But just as he said they have been mentioning this thing in security meetings. One will action be taken. That is the challenge. Custom is the chairperson of the security meetings in the border here. So I'm going back with this comment to inform my boss that people are eagerly waiting to see when the security people here will end the illegal roadblocks here.
Let me make this clear, and they are here to correct me. The mandate of the BIC is going to have a checkpoint. BIC will not be on the road. BIC is a border information center. And people, even the Bible says, perish because they lack knowledge. Knowledge is power. What BIC set out to do is to give out information, relevant and correct information to people across the border. I can assure you, when you talk of all those people that are out there, once the trader knows their right and they know they are doing the correct thing, nobody will harass them. People still play on the ignorance of people. And what Border Information Center is to do is to assist in finding out what is the problem. The situation is going to be there. If there is any challenge, it's not going to come to the trader. It's going to call plan for a time. Please, this person have this problem with you. What is the way out? And we are sending it back to him. That's how it works. And what I would do is that the trader begins to know what is the correct thing to do. And once you know what is the correct thing to do, you can hardly be cheated. Because knowledge itself is power. Most of the things we capitalize on as people some of the times and not even on the stuff is ignorance of the people. And if we are together, if we are in agreement that the best thing to know is that if you are bringing in plants, what are the things you require? If you are bringing in crops, what are the things you require? If you are bringing in the vehicles, what are the things you require? And fall in line with those things, you are not likely to be cheated, you are not likely to be delayed. And that is what the Border Information Center is going to do. It may take some time, but we can start.
The representative of Nigerian Shippers Council, a director, Nigerian Shippers Council in charge of commercial shipping, Mrs. Shaloma, said, in view of the fact that Nigeria has not actually harnessed the importance of Border Information Center, hence, there is need for Nigerian Shippers Council to collaborate with USAID.
I felt there was a need for this collaboration because hitherto we had a situation where the countries in West and Central Africa were not gaining from each other, and we want to encourage that intra-African trade. We have looked at the disconnect, we have looked at the lack of connectivity, we have looked at so many issues that are in the path of trade. All the gridlocks are all man-made, and if they are man-made, then man can remove them. And we felt Nigerian Shippers Council that has been established for the purpose of facilitating Nigerian trade, and a member of the Union of African Shippers Council, an organ that is responsible for facilitating trade in West and Central Africa. We felt that this was a responsibility that we should take very seriously. And that was why when we were approached, although we had discussed it at the level of the Union, we are members of the Executive Committee of the Union of African Shippers Council. So all the shippers councils in Africa are together under the Union, and we represent a chunk of the trade in West and Central Africa. Nearly 70% of the trade in West Africa, you would agree with me, is from Nigeria. Even when it's trading across the borders from Cotonou, it's coming to Nigeria. So the question is this: if we cannot get the gridlock out of our country, why can't we facilitate border?
While a representative of USAID, Dr. Shola Afolabi, said that USAID is all out to ensure that it assists Nigerians and some of our sub-region, Cotonou, Benin and Ghana, to ensure that there's trade facilitation between the various countries within the sub-West African country. This will go a long way in making sure that they have a borderless situation.
I keep saying that the building the joint border post and having infrastructure is not really the problem. The problem is the procedure, it's the process. You can do neat process under a shed, and you can do nonsense process in a very fine building. Nonsense. If you go to the Ghana-Togo border, there are two big, fat, nice, beautiful buildings. Nice, wonderful at the border. All the work that is being done, clearing and is done along the corridor. Nothing is done inside those buildings, and they spent millions of dollars building one for out, one for in, but nothing is done inside. Everything is done on the corridor and under a shed. So what is the point of it? So apart from knowing what are these problems, we will come back to you. So what are the processes? Do we really need 17 steps to clear the truck? Because if you remove one step, that is less delay. If you go from 17 to 10, that's a lot of improvement. If you say, for example, you are going to do joint inspection, it's not that customs does its own and quarantine does its own, and then immigration, and I'm always afraid of task forces.
The Skyway Aviation Handling Company Limited, a member of Pacific Group, is a reputable aviation handling company that provides a well-structured, value-added, customer-friendly passenger handling services. We offer first-class ramp handling services. Our cargo handling services is famed for an impressive record of consistent efficiency, as tons of freight are handled daily with operational ease. Other services include aviation security, baggage reconciliation to ensure safety of passengers' baggage. We also operate charter flight operations. At the Skyway Aviation Handling Company Limited, SACOR, we make a lasting and favorable impression on passengers and invariably our clients.
On our personality segment today, the entire crew of Podges and Ren on TV visited the house of National Publicity Secretary of the Association of Nigerian Licensed Customs Agents called ANACA, Dr. Obisi Okonkwo. Welcome back. We're on personality segment today. When one of the big man's house is the mouthpiece of the big association in the industry, Association of Nigerian Licensed Customs Agents, is the National Publicity Secretary of the association. Is no any other person than Dr. Obisi Okonkwo. You're welcome, sir. As a National Publicity Secretary of the association, how do you find this job, sir?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for finding time to come to my home and finding time also to have this what do you call it, the segment in my house.
Yes, sir.
To me, it's a privilege. It's a great honor, but all the same, if we get back to the question you asked, the position of National Public Secretary of our great association, Association of Nigerian Licensed Customs Agents, is an exciting one. Exciting and interesting, because I will tell you, I didn't really just dropped from nowhere to be the National Public Secretary. Yeah. I worked for it, I waited for it, and then the opportunity came, and I had to, submit myself for an election.
Yeah.
The entire ANACANs picked me to represent them.
Yeah.
That's it.
As the publicity secretary of the ANAC at the association, before now, looking at your background about being a publicity officer, you have actually performed wonderful work in various associations. But what are your challenges, sir, as a National Publicity Secretary of the association?
Well, as a matter of fact, the challenges with every pressman, the challenges with every journalist, it's just the challenges that every publicity man has. Otherwise, your stories and your presentations may be coming from the positive angle of your inner mind. The people will definitely want to see it from the negative side first.
Exactly.
What you have done that you're not supposed to do, and what you have not done that you're supposed to do. But the onus lies on the strength of God for you to have the wisdom to continue to press forward that thing that you think that it's right, and then you keep pressing so that people will at one time or all times realize and understand that what you are presenting is the right thing.
The interesting thing about the National Publicity Secretary of ANACA is that he's a man of the field. He's not somebody that sits in the office and dishes out instruction. He's a customs broker to the core. Looking at the recent raid in Tinkan Island Port, sir, your association has not really come up per se on an official statement, and it seems freight forwarders and customs brokers are not too happy about the position of your association. Or should I say that what is your association position as in the constant rate of licensed customs agents and freight forwarders in the Tinkan Island Port?
Well, if you ask me, you have just made two statements here.
Yeah.
One, you said we have not made any statement.
Yeah, officially.
And then you came back again and said, what
is your position?
And then you said, maybe we are supporting or not supporting. But let me tell you, the truth of the matter is that Association of Nigeria Licensed Custom Agents, or otherwise all over the world called custom brokers, should be seen as one who is as literate as any other custom broker all over the world. And then if the rating is all about touting, then I want to believe that they are wrong. Because in every profession you have touts. I also want to believe that if they are ready to, clean the port of touts, there are some nitty-gritty they need to put in place.
Exactly.
There are some basic things they are supposed to have done before now. Now, the Council of Regulation for Freight Forwarding has come in, in focus.
Yes.
And then they say they are the umbrella body of all associations.
Yes, on all freight forwarders.
On all freight forwarders. Now, are you telling me now that a transporter who is a member of the Council for Regulation of Freight Forwarding has nothing to do around and within the port?
The port, simple. All right.
Will that make me a tout?
No.
Now, which permit takes you into the port? Is it the passport? Is it the identity card of Council for Regulation of Freight Forwarding? Which, as far as I'm concerned, has not been issued to almost 80% of the registered members.
Sure.
And so, they don't have to wait till they get that identity card before they go to do their job. So, I think the right thing could have been done first. Before this, because we are going to get it right, I must confess. And now, if you come to my association, which is only for licensed custom agents, we have been ahead of time with the biometrics. And I want to say that unequivocally that even you as the presenter of this program, as a member of ANACA, was one of the pivot leaders of that biometrics identity.
Right.
And so the reason is for us to identify our members at any time. Are they supposed to be here at this time, and what are they supposed to do at this time? Because if you are mandated by your own ideals to process documents for customs delivery, for cargo delivery, that makes you a licensed agent, right? And then because with your license you can go in to process those documents. And then that also mandates you to be in the port.
It's simple,
because until we get to this one-stop shop, this single window, the port cannot get rid of touts.
This is not possible.
If it's about single window, then we know we can stay in our office and do all things.
Exactly.
And then if it's about examination, you send one or two of your staff to be there. But until we get there, I think we need to get the right thing first. But let me also reiterate that Nigeria Customs Service, in doing that raid, couldn't have done that in error. It's probably because their officers in the port are being, how do I put it now, are being overwhelmed with pressure of the presence of human traffic.
But even at that, there are considered authorities, and the act that is establishing Nigerian Port Authority, 1999 Act, empowers Nigerian Port Authority to get rid of hoodlums and those that are not supposed to be in the seaport. So I'm of the opinion that why don't they liaise with the relevant authority? Or why
don't we look at it this way? Now, Nigerian Port Authority, yes, by that act is mandated to clean up the port. Now, but the recent concessioning had also taken 60% of the Nigerian Port Authority away from them. Because when you come to TICT, for instance, now, they will tell you is their terminal.
Yes, because it's concession to them.
Even as we are speaking now, TICT in Tinkan is issuing another identity card for you to enter their terminal.
Access to the terminal, yes.
Do you understand? And so, if they will issue, Port and Cargo will issue, 5-star will issue. We are just using Tinkan now as the taking focus. All right. Now, how many identity cards will a perfect or a freight forwarder have at a time to enter the port? That means we have the one of Council for Regulation of Freight Forwarding.
Yes.
If he's a member of ANACA, he will have the one of ANACA.
Yes.
He will have the one of TICT.
Yes.
He will have the one of Port and Cargo, because
Yeah.
our job is not concentrated
In one
place.
part, exactly.
And then if you're going to the airport, you will have the identity card of NACO.
Yes.
If you're going to the border, you will have Nigerian passport, e-passport, and you have the Beninois, their own, for you to cross over to take your cargo. So the whole thing is worrisome, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, invariably, that takes us back to my question that in view of the situation and the scenario on ground and the fact that the port has been concessioned, that no clear cut on who actually is supposed to identify a particular person.
And that is why, personally, I will ask the Nigeria federal government to give us a commercial regulator.
Yes.
Because when we have a commercial regulator, the commercial regulator will determine where and what you need to do at any point.
As if Dr. OBC is reading my mind, because I'm actually going to that question that who now do you suggest that the federal government should make the commercial regulator? Should it be Nigerian Port Authority, NIMASA, or who do you think? Or a different
if you ask me, in my own opinion, I don't think NIMASA has anything to get closer to being the commercial regulator in the freight forwarding industry, as far as cargo delivery is concerned. And if you ask me, yes, NPA could have done it perfectly well, but with this concessioning, I find out that their powers are more or less not taken away from them, but downplayed.
Exactly.
Because the concessionaires must definitely, they are there for business.
Sure.
So you don't tell them things. You don't tell them things that will make them not to be in business.
Exactly.
All right. And if you are talking about Shippers Council, because the movement of cargo starts with the shipper.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So, in my own opinion, I think the Shippers Council is in a better position if federal government will look at that direction to make commercial regulators, because that will take us to the charges, arbitrary charges in the port, shipping terminal, and then dual charges. You have paid this in the shipping company, you come to the terminal, they say handling charges of. So sometimes you wonder who will talk to these people, and you know some of our members have been writing letters of maltreatment to the Shippers Council, but that power has not been given to them.
So if they are made the commercial regulator now, they will be able to stay decisively.
The enforcement will come in.
I agree with
the enforcement will come in.
That's a beautiful one, and this is the first time a senior, let me say a senior customs broker is actually giving Nigerian government a solution to say, we need a commercial regulator in our seaport, and why don't you give it to Nigerian Shippers Council? Initially I was thinking that this should be Dr. OBC's personal opinion, but when you start analyzing the need for giving it to Nigerian Shippers Council, I think I want to align myself with you on this ground. Let us look at the issue of various shipping companies, spurious charges and arbitrary charges in the seaport, where many committees have been set up by the federal government to look into this issue, and even up to now there is no eureka. And what is your take on this, or what is the position of your association on this?
Well, my take on it is very simple. You see, the moment Nigeria starts tilting and handling issues politically, that's where the bane of this problem is.
We've been speaking with the National Publicity Secretary of ANACA, no any other person than I call him erudite because he knows everything in the industry, Dr. OBC Okonkwo, and you've actually heard from him that the various reports or the various committees that has been set up by the federal government to look at the shipping companies' spurious charges and illegal charges has not actually come up with anything, and it has been kept somewhere. The federal government needs to do something about it. And that reminds me, Dr. BC, because you just mentioned now that there has been various committee report and no action. I hope that will not actually affect the ANACA too in your election petition panel that you have just set up.
No, as a matter of fact, we have a peculiar case.
Really?
Yes, this is the first time in the history of ANACA that everybody, all members of NEC, stood up and kind of give an accolade to a committee, a panel set up to look into our electoral matters. And I will assure you here that ANACA is one family. ANACA is not divided. It doesn't matter what our detractors are saying. But the truth of the matter is that while I sit with you now, it's not because you are a member of ANACA, but because I see your medium as one that we can also use to, propagate our ideals. As one that I know that your viewers are cut across the whole nation and beyond, that people can also see us and know that this is where ANACA is heading to.
Exactly.
That will also bring to focus letting people know that even as we speak in this your medium, Anaka is about getting ready to go out of this country again for another training, for a conference in South Africa.
Yeah.
We just came back from Dubai, where we went for a training. And then Anaka, even as the only association, exhibited in Nimare 2013.
Yeah.
So what am I trying to say? Haven't gone this length. Haven't let people know what Anaka stands for and where we are heading to, because we have this vision that we must get there. There is no way we can fail our members and interest groups now by not looking critically into that panel's report. The panel, as I said, has submitted their report to the highest echelon of the association, which is the NEC. And then all we are about doing now is to go into our room, lock it up, look at the report of the panel, and then any other one that will be at variance with the ideals of the association, because we cannot afford to have a crack in our wall. We'll definitely look at how we'll marry it so that the association will remain one and we'll move ahead. As a matter of fact, elections are being held all over the world. Ours is not the first, and it's not going to be the last. The first is not, because it's not going to be the last. The panel will be followed judiciously. I want to tell you that we are going to, as a matter of fact, exhaustively look into those issues. Those red issues that the panel, made some recommendation to, and we'll come out with something better. All I want to tell our members is that they should definitely take themselves away from rumors.
That was the chat with the National Publicity Secretary of Anaka, Dr. Obisi Okonkwo. We promise to give you a concluding part of this chat in the next 1 or 2 weeks. And this is how far we can go on today's episode of Porges and Event on TV. Don't forget that you can partner with us on this program, Porges and Event on TV. You can also invite Porges and Event on TV for your occasions. Until then, stay blessed.